When Jennifer said she needed space, I honestly assumed she meant a short getaway. Maybe a weekend alone, a few nights at her sister's to clear her thoughts. We'd argued before, nothing dramatic, just the kind that lingers in quiet tension for days. I figured this was one of those stretches. A little distance, a little breathing room. I never imagined her idea of a break would completely redefine what I understood about love and loyalty. The night she packed her suitcase, she wasn't angry, just detached. Her face was calm, like she'd rehearsed this moment over and over until it stopped hurting. I stood by the doorway, searching for words that didn't sound like a plea. "How long do you need?" I asked. She zipped her bag and said softly, "A few weeks, maybe 3. I just need to think." Think about what? Us? Her life? Someone else? The question slammed around inside me, but I stayed quiet. She kissed me on the cheek, gentle, empty, and whispered, "Don't wait up tonight." That line stayed with me. Don't wait up. As if she wasn't my wife walking out, but a guest leaving after dinner. At first, I told myself this was good. Space could heal things. I threw myself into work, kept the house clean, learned to cook for one. Sometimes, out of habit, I'd text her, "Made pasta tonight. Hope you're okay." Most messages got no reply. The few that did were short. "Doing fine. Please give me time." By the second week, the silence felt alive. Heavy, invasive. The kind that fills a room until you start talking to yourself, just to hear something. Nights were the hardest. I'd lie awake, wondering where she slept, what she thought about, and if she missed me at all. Our anniversary passed while she was gone. I didn't text her. I told myself maybe she'd remember. She didn't. On the 17th day, I drove past her sister's house after work. I don't even know why. Maybe I wanted proof she was okay. Maybe I needed a sign. But her car wasn't there. Instead, a sleek gray sedan I didn't recognize sat in the driveway. My chest tightened. I didn't knock, didn't call. I just drove home gripping the steering wheel until my hands hurt. That night, for the first time, I didn't check my phone. Exactly 3 weeks later, the front door opened around 9. I was half watching a basketball game when I heard the familiar sound of keys. Jennifer walked in like nothing had changed. New dress, fresh hair, polished nails. She looked radiant. "Hey," she said lightly. "You're still up." I muted the TV. "You said 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks." "Yeah." She sighed, setting her purse down, her tone casual, like she'd just come home from a long shift, not 3 weeks of absence. "Can we talk?" she asked, voice soft but oddly rehearsed. "I've been thinking a lot. About us. About me." Every muscle in me went still. "I don't think I want to be married in the traditional sense anymore," she said slowly. "I need freedom. I still care about you, but I also need to understand who I am outside of this. Maybe see other people." The words hit like a wrecking ball. See other people. She kept talking, trying to sound reasonable, almost therapeutic. "It doesn't have to mean we're done. I just want to redefine what we are. No lies, no hiding. Just honesty." I stared at her, stunned by how calmly she said it. She smiled faintly, like she was suggesting a new couch color. "So," I said evenly, "you took a break to see what life is like without me, and now you want permission to keep doing that, just with my blessing." Her smile faltered. "That's not fair. You're twisting." "I'm not twisting anything," I said quietly. My tone was detached, almost cold. "You already made your choice. You just came here hoping I'd make it easier." She froze, surprised by how calm I was. The silence between us thickened. The only sound was the hum of the refrigerator. Then she whispered, "Actually, there's something else." Her fingers traced the rim of her coffee mug. My chest tightened. I knew, somehow, but I needed to hear it. "I didn't plan it," she said finally. "But while I was away, I met someone." The room spun. I remember staring at the clock behind her, 10:07 p.m., just to keep myself grounded. Every second afterward felt hollow. "He's not the reason I needed space," she added quickly, "but it just happened. He made me realize how much of myself I'd lost. With you, I felt like a wife. With him, I feel like me." I didn't respond. Not at first. I just looked at her, the guilt in her eyes, soft but unmistakable. There was something rehearsed about her sadness, like she'd practiced this story enough times to convince herself it was some kind of virtue. So that's what this really was, I said quietly. You wanted a break to find someone else, just without calling it cheating? She winced. It wasn't like that. It's exactly like that. Her voice trembled now. I didn't mean to hurt you, Mark. I just needed to breathe. I pushed my chair back slowly and stood. You didn't need air, Jenna. You needed permission. The truth sat between us. Sharp, heavy, undeniable. I walked to the window, watching the glow of the streetlights blur through the glass. What I felt wasn't rage anymore, just a strange calm, the kind that settles and once pain stops fighting and finally accepts its place. When I turned around, she was crying quietly. Please don't hate me, she whispered. I don't, I said. But I can't respect you either. She flinched, like I'd struck her. Maybe it was cruel, but it was honest. She started talking again, words about therapy, healing, time apart, but her voice blurred into static. My mind had already drifted away, replaying the last few months, the distance, the late nights, the sudden need to find herself. All the pieces that had been there, waiting for me to connect them. When she finally stopped, I said the only thing left. You can stay tonight if you need to. Guest room. But in the morning, I want your keys on the counter. Her head snapped up. That's it? You're just giving up? I let out a dry laugh. You gave up 3 weeks ago. I'm just finally catching up. For a moment, she looked like she wanted to fight, to argue her way back into something broken. Then her shoulders sagged. You'll regret this, she said bitterly. People don't throw away years this easily. I nodded. You're right. They don't. But you did. She said nothing after that, just turned and walked down the hall, her suitcase wheels whispering across the floor. I listened to her footsteps fade until the guest room door clicked shut. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat on the couch scrolling through old photos, beach trips, birthdays, those dumb inside jokes that used to fill every silence. It's strange how love turns into memory, how two people who once spoke the same language can end up fluent in silence. When morning came, I brewed coffee and waited. She appeared around 7, eyes swollen, face pale. She placed her keys on the counter, just like I'd asked. Goodbye, Mark, she said softly. Goodbye, Jenna. No dramatic final kiss, no tears, just two people standing in the wreckage of what used to be home. When the door shut behind her, I felt something unexpected. Relief. Not the kind that numbs pain, but the kind that comes from seeing the truth and finally not looking away. The next few weeks were quiet. Friends asked questions and I gave easy lies. We're working things out, I'd say, even though there was nothing left to work on. A month later, she called once. I let it ring out. Her voicemail was short. I made a mistake. I miss you. I deleted it without listening to the rest. Because the truth was, I didn't miss her. I missed the man I used to be before she made me doubt him, the man who believed love meant safety, not confusion. That night, I sat on the porch with a beer, the cool air brushing my face. And for the first time, I understood something simple but freeing. Peace doesn't always come from fixing what's broken. Sometimes it comes from walking away before it destroys what's left of you. As the streetlights flickered on, I whispered into the quiet beside me. Thank you for leaving when you did. Because if you hadn't, I might never have learned how to stay gone.